Let's see. That's Facebook. YouTube. And Twitch. Okay, I think we're good. Right. Not so long after the first one, second PC build stream. Though this time, not for me. Someone a part of the Really Esports community. So this is for Juicy today. Initially approached me about looking at pre-builts and stuff like that, which they're not bad for what they are now, but I basically said, same amount of money, I can kind of get you a tier up. Hey, Kate. Kitty. Christ. Mine's getting worse. I need to go to the opticians. Um, and basically he liked everything about what I said I could do instead with the same amount of money. So, um, main differences being he's now going from a 3070 to 3080. He'd be on 12th gen Intel instead of 11th gen. He'll actually have a cooler rather than the Intel box cooler. And it won't be as a case which only, quite frankly, a mother could love. So, um, kind of win-win all round. I think anyway. And he gets a bit more picky, though. To be honest, I picked and he just went, I like it. Yeah, how you doing? Um, so yeah, as you can see, it's literally all dumped on the table. I'll go through each individual bit. No, Overclockers were kind enough to also send a little bit of Haribo, so you'll be getting that juicy. Um, so what I'll probably do is quickly show some of the stuff and move out of the way, which I don't need straight away. That being the case, which is an NZXT H510 Flow, which, well, NZXT case is actually really good to build in, and aesthetically look nice for forever. Um, they've been bad for airflow, and there was something actually said for years, we're not doing it, we're not making airflow cases, and now they made an airflow case, and here for very well priced. Uh, I, in honesty, I've not been great, but we'll go over that another day. But this is a good moment because I always like building PCs, so that's all good. Um, let's go over key components, which someone I need to leave around now. So yeah, we've got a core Intel All-Core i5 12400F, which Juicy is mostly going to be playing just games, not much else, and he's doing it on his 4K telly. So even though this is really good CPU, it's rare he's going to be in a situation where he's probably going to be CPU bound. He's almost always going to be GPU. Leads us on to the next bit, which is our 3080. You can actually start getting them at reasonable price now, as they're a decent amount of stock. So, and for the price that some 3070s go, you might as well just go straight to 3080. There is a decent enough jump in performance for not a huge amount of overhead. 1 TB NVMe. It's nothing too special, but it's better than hard disk drive. RAM, just Corsair Vengeance, 60 GB kit, 3600 speed, does shiny lights. Yes, you could go DDR5, but the price jump is huge and the performance jump is very negligible. So, and as I said, we're going to be GPU bound, running at 4K rather than CPU bound. So it seemed a bit arbitrary, which also led to our motherboard choice, which is Tough Gaming B660 Plus. It's got Wi-Fi on board. It will facilitate everything we need to do absolutely fine. And again, full fact it's got inbuilt Wi-Fi. The tough boards tend to be pretty solid, so it's got everything we need without overspending. Power supply, almost similar vein to the motherboard. So Seasonic, which make really solid stuff, and this is an 850 watt gold from them. Um, not modular or anything like that. It's a large case. We can hide the cables. It won't matter. Um, but it's basically really decent power supply. But just because it's not modular and things like that, it allows me to sort of take a bit of that money and put it into something where it does matter. Um, but Seasonic make really solid power supplies, so it's just everything you need and just cut the fat on what you kind of don't most of the time. And for cooling, to go with the case, an 880 Kraken. Yes, it does shiny lights, and I've also just personally got spare here we go, fan and RGB controller, which also fits nicely into the case. So it will sort of allow it, which means rather than going to BIOS, because Juicy's entering the PC gaming space, this allows it to all be controlled from the desktop if he wants to manipulate lights or fan speeds and stuff like that. So it's a bit more user friendly. So, first things first, to do a little bit of unboxing, and then we'll go to do a box test. So that is to build everything onto the motherboard on the actual box that the motherboard came in, make sure it works before we all slam it inside the case. Uh, so, that being said, what should we start with? What should we start with? We go with the motherboard. We'll do the motherboard. So, this menu, we'll open it up, is new for me as well. We have our Wi-Fi antenna. Test that later. Motherboard. Pretty good looking motherboard, actually. They're quite boring things in the grand scheme of things most of the time, but can be good looking. What if you're hiding? Because the other thing we are going to need, maybe you, I don't know. No need for any SATA cables. Aha! M.2 screw. So the rest of that go back in there for now. Is the audio right? You have to tell me. I'm trying it beforehand. I used to have the first stream I did it with my microphone, which sits all the way over there, so it's very accurate. Whereas now I'm using these, so I'm hoping that's better. I can't hear the chat. Have I turned off the voice to chat? I'm sure it doesn't matter. Out. Yep. That is a surprisingly good-looking motherboard. It's simple, sedate, but very neat. Can't really see that. The lighting's not very good there, is it? Turn on one of the backlights and see if that works a bit better. Let's see if that's helped. A little bit. Yeah, not bad looking for a motherboard. I don't think it is anyway. Not too much. I don't like it when they're all garish and glitzy. Have you got peel? Bet you have. Oh, you have. Naughty bit of peel. That'll be a good bit of peel. Go. Okay. What should we go for next? Should we go for the CPU? Let's do CPU. Now this does come with an Intel box cooler, but in all honesty, they are fine probably if you're doing like an i3 or something like that. Or I really can't find the extra few pennies for a cooler. But they're not great. it you'll find majority of the time it'll throttle your. What do I get you out? You throttle your CPU thermally because they're just, well, you'll see in a second. They leave a lot to be desired. There's our CPU. Yeah, here's the cooler. And you think it's not even that tall. And the actual heatsink. Hi, Jenny and Tom. That's all there is. Metal to keep that thing cool. It's useful in an emergency. Let's say, you know, I'll give it to Juicy, and let's say it won't happen, but something goes wrong with the Apple cooler. Rather than going, oh, I've got to wait to get a new cooler, you can throw this thing in, it will work, and it will work until you get that sorted. Okay. So Intel mounting. Get rid of our. So that pops off usually when you put the CPU in. It's been a while since I've done an Intel cooler. Don't have to worry about bending pins on this thing now, which is nice. You'll just put in like that. Close you. Look at that. Oop. Flipped. What's so scary about that? Oh, don't know about mounting a CPU. And that's about it. Pretty harmless. Back in there with you. If you're following this and you're thinking about doing it yourself, keep that. If something goes wrong with the motherboard, you need to send that back with it. Oh, IU shields. Been one of these ones that's just pre-mounted to the back already. Lovely. Didn't even notice that when I ordered it. Okay. What should we do next? We do the SSD. Let's do the SSD. Should make it really nice and neat because this is the only storage I've got at the moment. I think he would have wanted more, but you know, sort of a certain amount of cost restraint and quite. I'd like to say, let's. How many NVMe SSDs can you mount to this? No junk. Sorry, where was I going with that? Yeah, we've got no hard drive or SATA SSDs. Start of this, they're relatively cheap and easy to add on later. So I think that's the route we'll go with for now. It depends. You might go along and find he's absolutely fine with 1 TB. Gets very good at uninstalling games he's not playing and such. And if he doesn't, then well, yeah, you'll have to buy more, won't he? Okay. Yeah, it's been pre-installed. Is it pre-installed in the right place? It looks like it is. Most certainly. Is that like a twist lock? I'm going to check the manual on that one. That looks like it's got like a little lever twist lock to like to lock that in. I'm going to check. Have you got a useful thing for me to jump to the right page? Let's see. M.2 installation. Remove heatsink. Yeah. To install, remove the pre-install QLatch and QLamp hole. Yeah, it holds it in place by twisting a latch. Wow, what do you know? See, even I can learn things. Okay, so it looks like. And then just like that. There's a part of me that goes, I almost don't know if I trust it. Maybe it has just got another screw. Oh, if you've got an even smaller one. I'm with you. I'm with you. Well, let's not lose you. Let's chuck you back in the motherboard box as well. Chunky motherboard though. So one part which is a shame is yeah, I could have gone Gen 4 SSD, but it would have been quite literally twice the price of this one. And I'm honest, do I think Juicy would have noticed the difference? Probably not. Right. Okay, look at that. Nice and neat underneath there. Gone. That's very I am pleased with the aesthetic of that. Okay, you're done. I guess we better do RAM. Oh, no ASUS, so it's always the grey slots. I was quite surprised at the. Well, you can kind of tell where like, oh, new shiny RAMs come out and stuff like that in DDR5. You get stuff like this now. It's, it's going so cheap. I think this was just over 70 quid. Really not bad. Really not bad. But as nice as today, it goes with the aesthetics of the rest of the build and the machine and the motherboard. But a couple of nice neat bits of RGB because it goes faster. Hey GC, probably not. Probably going on about the SSD. Yeah, I'm not running Gen 4, and I tell you what, it just being on an NVMe feels plenty fast enough. Where'd you get this all from? So this was all ordered from Overclockers. If you've just chimed in, James, I'm building for someone in the Remy esports community. Commissioned, if you will. Okay, what I'm going to do is dry mount the cooler. Hopefully, it doesn't have in it pre-installed, or doesn't have the thermal paste pre-installed. If it does, I might actually use the box cooler to. Oh, that was going to. Open. I'll do the box cooler because I don't mind if I waste the thermal paste on that. Moment of truth. The other thing is now it said it should come with the right mounting kit for the CPU. Well, if it doesn't, then we are going to have to go with the box cooler to get it up and running, which would be a shame. Then I'll have to get them to send it. But we shall see. Phones. For is that in rad? See, I'm seeing a different mounting kit there, so I think it's got pre-applied. Okay. Okay. Never mind. We'll do a box test of the Intel cooler, and there's the two fans in there. Okay. Let us see anyway, because it's already got an Intel cooler bracket, but it looks like there's a second Intel cooler bracket. Oh no, it's a button. I'm pretty sure that's for AMD. I think I might have confirmed my suspicions, and it hasn't been shipped with the right support for the CPU, which would be a pain. Scan QR code for manual. Let's see. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna do the box cooler and then just fit this at a later date if that is the case. Beep, 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 beep. That thing. Wow, we got a good, not bad deal on that. No, I don't want to buy it again from you. I want the manual. Go away. Uh, future cracking is produced after this. You can find the next data code in a serial number starting a 6-digit. Right, so let's see. Serial number. Sometimes they're on the box. There we are. You can find the production date recorder serial number starting with the 6-digit of the serial numbers highlighted in bold below. The first two bold numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 21 January the 8th. So okay, right. So I'm gonna have to request the cooler bracket. Okay, so we're not fitting the cooler as part of this build today. That's a shame. That's annoying. But it's not a bigger problem. Good thing we do have the Intel box cooler, eh? So we'll mount that and we'll actually leave it on, and I'll use that to do most of our tests and stuff like that. And I'll get that shipped out, and we'll fit that later. So I'll probably just update that with some pictures or whatnot. Okay, fine. Right, into the box cooler, I choose you. Look on the site, it says it could only take a couple of days for it to come. So, okay, okay. Any particular direction it looks like this goes? It does not look that way. These, once you just line up, you just kind of press in and it presses through the holes on the motherboard, and then it's done. Are you clicking? You definitely gone through? Looks like it. Ah, there we go. There we are. Right, and chassis fan, AIO pump, CPU fan is there. Snuggle that around there. Wait. Okay, I'll do for now. Cool. So, apart from pulling out the power supply and slapping the graphics card, well, let's have a look at that, shall we? A nice 3080. Now, technically, of all the 3080s, this is the cheapest one you can functionally get your hands on at the moment, which might lead to a little bit of potential skepticism and stuff like that. But in reality, if you're ever looking at pricing of a GPU, the prices of GPUs you're looking at would ever lead you to pretty much close to or the bottom end of the next tier of card, get the next tier of card. Because a lower end 3080 will always outperform even the best of 37 seats. It's not the case in laptops though. Laptops are a weird beast. Okay, so we are presented with, take out the sleeve, a black box. Another black box. Handy. Allen key. Why does a GPU come with an Allen key? There we are. Attention, this product is not designed for crypto mining. Yeah, okay, that's very good. We void a warranty if it's found to be doing so. Prove that. Below hash rate card anyway, so it's just good. And there we are. In 3D. So it's called something like a twin cool or something like that. Yeah, it's quite small, but it's plush, it's neat. The colouring's actually very much in theme with the rest of the build. I was mostly driven by price to get the best performance I could get for the money, but I'll tell you what, it's kind of accidentally themed to this sort of like, I'd almost call it like Batman colours. It's like those, blacks and dark greys and gunmetals and stuff. Another bit of peel. It's going to be another build when I've done them before and I'm like, it looks better than mine. Oh well. Get that peeled off. Get it gone. Yeah, look at that. Sort of like blacks and greys. And then same on the end and even the same on the back. I'm surprised of actually how smart that looks. Okay. Right. Enough oogling. They didn't go all out on the packaging. Let's be honest though, it's not like that matters too much. But when it comes to transportation, I will be keeping this box because I will transport it in this rather than leaving the PC when it comes to move. When it makes its debut at the Festival of Sports. And just let that go in there. Press in, monsieur. There we go. Lovely. Yeah, that fits in very nicely colouring-wise, actually. Accidental, I mean on purpose. Sexy. Hopefully it will be. A little bit annoyed because the website made it sound like the cooler came with the right adapter. It doesn't. It doesn't matter because, like I say, that's not what the Allen key's for. Why would I take that off? Yeah. Yeah, it almost made it sound like it would come in the box with the right adapter, so didn't need to worry about it. They sort of advertised it. The fact it doesn't is annoying, but it's fine. That's better. request one, and one will come through. I'll do that. I'll do that after this. Right, and our power supply, which is going to be probably the unsexiest part of the build. However, you don't see it, so who cares? Some cases sort of show them off, or have a little window showing a bit of them. Our case has none of that, so we don't need to worry about that. Oh, and screws and convenient cable ties. Nice. That's a shame. Yeah, but like I said, it means I won't be doing it on as part of this stream. But it's fine for yourself. I'll get some photos updated once it goes in, but we'll get almost all of it done. Like I said, it's a power supply. It's not exciting one because I basically went. I want a decent power supply, and then anything extra, kind of unnecessary spend, save it so you could have that. It probably would have been a better power supply you would have got in that Acer anyway. So they tend to use nasty things. So one of the few things Dell does good, actually. Their stuff's horrible. They do make good power supplies. I think it's because they come from they just basically get their server power supplies and just reuse them. This is quite a flexible motherboard, which is not helping. So how to make 4 pin. Let me just look through the Snake's Wedding because I need our CPU. Mm. Yeah, and it got number 4. I doubt this has got another CPU pin on it. Not that it matters. We're not putting enough power for it. But we do have another CPU. Well, well, well. Well, can't have an empty motherboard socket, can we? So you're the one with the... Where's the clip would go? That way. So crescent moon needs to be bottom left, which is you. There you go. You can have all the power. Not that it needs it, to be honest. It having those extra power bits in is more for if you're putting something like a 9900K, not 9, wow, 12900K, which you're not going to do. You'd get a different motherboard if you're doing that as well. So I find that a bit arbitrary and pointless, but well, maybe someone would. We'll see. But the cleanness of the build, I might not have socketed it in, even though, oh, maybe I do, because sometimes it looks worse having a socket that's empty, even if it's not necessary. But we'll see. We'll see if it affects much of anything. Cool. And the rest of these are going to go fairly unused. Ah, no, one SATA. Give me one SATA for the fan controller. That's something. Right. We are almost at box test time. I'll do box test, then I'll build in the case, and I'll do Windows after that. That's not as exciting, admittedly. So, I need to sort out some proper power for this part, don't I? My trusty token effort mouse and keyboard. Slot, any slot. Let's see. HDMI. There we go. Keyboard. Got power. You've got power. Now, oh, I love ASUS for this. They actually label their power switches. Power LED, power switch U2. And yes, no. Definitely says U2 on that. Maybe random buttons there. No. Sometimes on these boards actually have a power button on the motherboard. Ignore this one. Come on. Where are you looking? Where are you looking? That's the thing support. No, too far. Microphone ports. Is that you? No, Thunderbolt header. System panel header. It is indeed those two. Oh. Turn on the power supply. I thought I did though. Yeah. What's this one for? Rog, someone in the Ruby esports community. Michael Juicy. And we have life. I'm going to turn on the TV. We have post. We're in. New CPU installed. Configure system. F1. Yes. A good start. A good start. All I'm going to do for okay. Turn on the XMP for the RAM. And I mean, yeah, we're in BIOS. Recognizes both sticks of RAM. It's got the right CPU. GPU's outputting to the BIOS. We're cooking with coal. Don't need to do any BIOS updates or anything like that. We're certainly not at the moment. I won't worry about that. So, right. Now we're on to building in the case. Okay. And just get to save the XMP for now. I'm going to leave most of the other behaviors alone. When it comes to the CPU and stuff like that, I'm not going to try and do funny things, stuff like that. I'm going to let it operate normally. Like I said, the CPU is just there and it's decent. It'll hold. It'll be good for a very long time, and it won't. Right, should go with the BIOS again. Try to. No signal. That's fine. Power off. Cool. Let's get this thing in the box. Right, for now, we're going to leave the RAM and the CPU and the CPU cooler on, but we are going to remove everything else. Oh, that's stiff. Thank you. Oh, right. Right. Tell you what, I don't know if it's to do with this motherboard tolerances or something like that, but everything's a really stiff fit. I mean, really stiff. I'm gonna rest you back inside your box now. Out the way. You out the way out here. You could go down with that. Right, so next bit of the unboxing procedure. Here's the biggest box. It's going to be our case. Just while I'm unboxing it, I could do with a little bit more space. I wish I commissioned myself for a bigger office. Questions for later. Yeah, I mean, considering I've just gone online and I've just seen this is meant to be like a, what was it, like $150 case if you're in the States. And yeah, from overclockers, it's like 70 quid, which is, I think that's a lot of case for the money, personally. Oh, it's on its side. Okay. Oh, how about I tilt it the way so you can see what I'm pulling out, eh? Yeah, better. Hope that. Okay. Are you going to come out nicely? Let's have a grip at it, maybe. That's what I go for trying to do stuff with the camera now. So let's handhold. Goodness. Okie dokie. We are going to look after those bits because then when it's done, it's built, ready for transport, it will go back in these bits. Yeah, if you do, Bill, keep the box the case comes in, because you probably won't get anything better to transport your PC around in if you ever need to. Right. So apart from the case itself, it should also come with a couple of fans. And that with the CPU cooler we've got should be more than enough we need for it. There we are. 1 in 60 airflow based case. Caution, tempered glass handle with care. You go inside the box. Safekeeping for later. Yes, so they've got one of the pre-installed fans here, and they put one at the front. I don't want that there. I'm going to have you as a top exhaust, because the front here is going to be where our CPU cooler is going to be. So, while nothing else is mounted in, we're going to get that out. So put that off as well. Have you cable tied that in? Well, I appreciate you trying to be neat for me N16, but that's not helpful. Remove this, remount it to the top, and then we'll crack on mounting the rest. This should be relatively quick because we haven't got any hard drives to put in. I'm not doing the cooler, which is really a shame. That's such a frustrating thing. Um, you're right, Anne. How you doing? Um, yeah, shame we're not putting the cooler in as well because that was going to be one of the key things to do. What I could do. mm, I'll tell you what, for the sake of sorting things out and some other bits, I'll mount the fans, but I just won't mount the rad in the cooler. So you get an initial impression of what the RGB would look like and stuff like that. We'll do that. We'll do that, and that won't and it won't waste much of my time afterwards to just quickly undo them for the sake of them putting the radiator on with the right cooler mounting. It'll be fine. It will be fine. That's enough black screws. That's good because you're going to be on the top here. So once I've got this done, it'll be mount motherboard. Steal the fans from the other cooler, get them mounted. Put in power supply, route it all, plug that in, route it all, do GPU done, and we're on to installing Windows. Cool. That's the exhaust element of our case done. Should I do the other fans now as well? Yeah, let's do the other fans now as well. It'll be epic once done. I think it will be, mate. I definitely think it will be. And I've used these fans before, and they do shine up nice and pretty. I will just do a couple of screws for now. You're going to tell me they didn't pack this with case. Okay. You're everything else. You've got washers. Screws. No, well, it's a good thing I have them, isn't it? I will just do 4 for now, for just a couple of corners each. Because I'll be undoing them again and completely changing how they're mounted. But just give an idea of what it will look like, and like I say, I could set up elements of the RGB and such. Give you a good first impression of what it'll kind of look like. To be fair, the time this arrived, even if I'd ordered the correct mounting kit at that time, it still wouldn't have arrived in time for today. But it meant I suppose I could have waited to do this build, but If I do it now and there's anything wrong, say CPU, GPU, or something else, I've got time to muck about and sort it. So, and I never encountered a defunct cooler, brand new anyway. Just not a thing. I suppose it is a thing, but I've never encountered it. So I'm going to say it's not true. Out. In. RGBness. Well, me saying that like makes it sound like something else. So it's a fan splitter. Out in. Oh, I see. So I can use a minimal amount of cables to get this all lined up and connected. Okay, all right. Not screws for that. No. No. Of course it won't. Okay. Cable routing first. Then we'll bolt it to the frame. So I mean, if I get the cable routing done, it's like the longest part of the job anyway, actually, to be fair. That goes through there. This one has its own one to go through. Yeah, you get other, YouTube builds which go, lots of edits. It goes lots more smoother and swanky and all the rest of it, and everything just clips in mere seconds. But that's not how it really happens. It's all fumbly bits like this where you're like, oh, that makes sense. If you're doing it like that, there you go. And that'll fold in there. So when it's in the case, you won't even see it. How lovely. There's less cables to muck about with. What I'm seeing here, let's see. So that's going to be a controller, I imagine, for the CPU block. Let's have a look. Yep, I've got a micro. You don't need edits in smooth, you need to see it raw. It's fucking raw. Um, right, so it does look like it uses one of these for power. And that for controlling is how that looks to me. I wonder how that would work with my N60 controller. Might kind of be unnecessary, because it probably all talks through this. It's kind of how that's coming across anyway. Let's see. There's the splitter. You're not a fan mount. Ah, so for you and the RGB. Okay. So, I could possibly get away without using this and using the controller. Let's see, because that's, well, I could have that one in. I probably need that. But that is literally just, oh, could it power that as well? Yeah, it does actually. Okay, no biggie, no matter. Oh well, maybe I'll have found another use for it at some point. But for now, we can still plug it in and test the fans. We can still do that. And well, we have the fans to see them turn on, but the RGB. RGB goes into the pump and then into. Ooh. Okay, so won't be able to sort out RGB. My plan is rapidly coming apart. Never mind, we'll see the fan spin. We'll see the fan spin. We'll get the air. We'll make sure that it's got actually a decent amount of airflow. There we go. We'll see. Make sure the temperatures are good. We can do that, right? We can do that. See things like make sure the GPU stays cool and it gets enough air and that kind of business. We can make sure that's a thing. So this is still not wasted effort. And what you might find is the RGB might still come on. We just might not have any control over it. That's also possible. So we'll have no choice but to go, oh look, unicorn vomit. So I will need you. You are for later. In which case, at this particular point in time, I won't get too leery with cable management because I'm going to have to undo it to do all the cable management for the other bits. Well, save us a bit of time on this, get to the point where we're actually testing it out, right? Cosmic happiness, hello. It's things are going. Have specs, yes. So CPU is a 12th gen 12400F i5. GPU is a RTX 3080. And then functionally UConn motherboard B660. What kind of a specs you'd care for? It's got a 1 TB NVMe SSD. It was meant to have a Kraken X63 cooler. Yeah, he's done all right. But unfortunately, it didn't come with a mounting kit for the new Intel socket, which is a bit of a pain. But I'll try not keep getting salty over that. Oh, what's in the box? What have you given me in 660? Well, not me. It is a lots of cable ties and adapter thingies. Oh, that's cute. A little headphone splitter and everything. Oh. Anyhow. Right, fan's done. So, okay, motherboard. Which I know has made it sound cute, but I can't need the screws in that. You do what you need to do, buddy. Standoff? Not A weird extension for motherboard. I need. Oh, it did come with fan screws. Oh, you shouldn't have. What I actually need. That should be the motherboard screws. I'm going to try and do it like this so you can see where I'm mounting and what I'm doing it. It's a little bit awkward. It's a little bit not ideal, but we'll rock it. We'll go with it. I'm just going to confirm with one of these that's the right screws. I think so. I think it's just, yeah, I think it's just a bit sticky where it's all new. Cool. And this has got a nice centering lug one. So, well, the one advantage actually of having the Intel cooler. Ooh. I might actually put the power supply in first, because I could get the CPU pins through a lot easier. That is what I'm going to do. Yeah, certainly haven't done bad. So a lot of people would kill to have this kind of system. I think it's scary that at some point people were paying that kind of money for PS4 when it's all being scalped and stuff. Like, that's just insane. Imagine paying that money and landing yourself a PS4. PS4, PS5. Even exclusive games are now coming out on PC, so it's like, yeah, why bother? No, I suppose it's there. It's not. Yes, it is. That's a weird place to put that Seasonic. But alright. Tell you what, you could definitely tell where it's Seasonic's entry level power supply. Yeah, when the motherboard's not in, it is a much easier time to try and squirrel these in for it. CPU number one. Where's CPU number two? There we are. See, normally I'd lie this down, but I'm trying to reveal as much as I can to the camera. They're looking alright. I think they actually kind of wanted to be the way around. Let's swing them round. You go. We'll do one on both that side of the cable. Yeah, let's do that. Can you link your Twitch page, please? Oh, honestly, Jess. I'm in the middle of something. It's literally name. You've been converted. You are. I think you'd be very happy. The good thing is because we're predominantly on Xbox, a lot of it transfers over. So even if you got like your Forza and you go on PC, you download it on this and you carry on. The saves just move over. It's great. You'll link it. Oh, cheers, Hawk. Oh, and welcome. Or have you been lurking? Lurking, stalking, something with creepy intent. Quite dark actually. I'm going to see if I could give you a bit more light. One moment. I have a cunning plan. How weird is that? You probably see me disappear, but you can hear me the same. Let there be light. How's that? Oh, that's better. Just got on, kids. Kids are in bed. Yeah, I literally did that. Finished with the kids, threw them in bed, gave it 10 minutes. I was like, yeah, they'll probably be asleep. Let's go for it. Okay. Awkwardly lift you over the top like that. And because of where I've got those cables looped in there, it's going to make it quite snug initially. It'll be fine once it's in. Just that process of physically getting it in the first place. There we go. Then should line up, and there's a nice centering one. As I said, this is a lot easier when you've got it laid down. Stay. Why you no go in? Why you just spin? Are these not the right screws? Well, no, that one did it just fine. Yeah, I know. I found that. Well, I started actually because I started with laptops. For me, it wasn't actually the performance; it was the size of the library and the variety of games I could get on PC. That initially swung me over. And then my son was being very cute and trying to give me my gaming laptop and inadvertently destroyed it. He was 2, bless him. Um, so one insurance claim afterwards. I don't know what it is with these screws. Yeah, one insurance claim afterwards, and they gave me the money because it was a PC specialist laptop, which they just went, oh, well, that's custom made. It's not really, but that's what they classed it as. And they gave me the monies. And then I just kind of went, oh, sod it. I'm going to have a crack at building this myself. Or building one myself, should I say. And now I've knocked that out. I don't know what's going on with these screws. Is it these other ones then? Could be. Didn't seem like that'd be right. Yeah, had to go building one myself, and then when it went from a laptop to a tower, and I was very much like, oh no, this is much better. And then yeah, converted ever since. No, they definitely seem like the right screws, so I have no idea what these screws are for. Okay, fine. Let's get you out of the way. I'll find that loose one. Very good up here. Okay. Ah, I probably knocked it out of the desk onto the floor somewhere. Problem for later. That one. Stop it, Matt. Through the library. Yeah, so much bigger and cheaper, and there's more sales, and there's actually competition. And the amount of games that come out for free is insane. Thank you, Epic. I know lots of people grumble about Epic, going, I want everything on Steam Store, and you're like, who cares? If a game comes out for cheaper or free, I don't care who provides it, as long as the game works. Yeah, I know there's lots of other features which like Epic Store is really pants compared to like Steam, for example, but it's functional and more importantly, it's made Steam have to be somewhat competitive because there's now someone else in the space. Almost similar with Game Pass, to be honest. Now there's you got the existence of that. It's like Steam for a while did actually close to have a monopoly, not because no one else could compete, they just no one else did. No, I mean no. I've built in yeah this case, but the the solid solid front mount one. But they and it worked and it's fine and it looked good, but you either have bad thermals or it's loud. Whereas the idea is now you got a nice grilled one is like it'll be quiet and have good thermals. So and very reasonably priced though. You don't get one in all white. You get one in like Stormtrooper. One more right in this corner up here. You know what? All I can say is I hope you appreciate how awkward this is. Me mounting the motherboard with it being upright, so you can just about see what I'm doing. Okay, motherboard in. Now we can. That one needs rotating. Plug you in. And then get a bit of the light from that. Rounded one bottom left corner. Push you back on yourself and hide you out the way a little bit. And have you there, so it looks nice and neat. Put this motherboard so close to the top and bottom, it really doesn't give you a lot of room to work with. In this case, like this, I usually have a lot more headroom, but I also appreciate that is by and large wasted space. So I wouldn't have them change the decision, but it does make it somewhat awkward. There we go. Especially when I'm building it upright like this and I'm really struggling to see what I'm doing. But it's fine. It's like a bit of a challenge, bit of variety. Pull that out the way. Those cables sit nicely out the way over there. Uh, you put an AIO on top of front. It has to go front. So there's only a single 120 or 140 slot at the top and a 120 at the back. So if you go in the back, you can only have a 120 here. You can't actually put it at the top because it would get in the way of the motherboard. So you can only mount the front here, but at the front you can mount a 280 rather than 240. And a 280, realistically, performance-wise, they usually sit on par with a 360. So it's absolutely fine. There's nothing being lost there. Yeah, it's all good. And so the CPU will realistically never thermal throttle. It should be absolutely fine. It's not particularly hungry CPU anyway, power hungry. So it's not going to make huge amounts of heat, which is good because it then basically means the most of the air that comes through, it will be warmish, but it's still going to be cool enough for the GPU. And then GPU has got enough space to pull air from odd little bits and crevices, and even from the top of the back here. So the GPU will be fine. I'm not that worried about what heat that could pick up. Okay. The power-wise, apart from our PCIe cables, which are going to get routed through that bottom hole there. It is a 3080, so I am going to have to do two cables. Now, where it sits, I might be able to get away of doing it like that. Look a lot neater. We'll see. We'll see if they reach like. If they reach like that, that will look a lot smarter. But we'll see. I'll pull it through fully for now. Because if it wasn't such a powerful one, maybe a 3070, I might consider just using one of these like that and doubling it over. But for 3080, no, it's got two cables. We use two. Is that the screw I lost? No. Yeah, I'll turn up at some point. And for now, for testing and operation, I'm going to have to plug these fans just into the motherboard for now. That's a triple. Interesting. Gives me one working around the back here. It's not very exciting. And I'm not making much of the cable management moment because, like I said, I'm going to have to undo it when I properly mount the cooler anyway. So let's see. CPU fan. CPU option 1. Interesting. Case fan and pump. Headers. So I'll tell you what, just because I kind of look a little bit neat, we'll have this lurking down here. Like I said, I'll probably do it different and reroute it all differently. Just these cables around the back. There's nothing that much different that's going to appear front-wise, apart from the fact it's going to have the different cooler here and the rad mounted here. It's just while we're in this sort of like testing phase, get it all in, see what the films are like, mostly for the GPU, but get Windows installed, do all those fun bits. Where has that other fan cable gone? You have cable managed it all the way over here. Stop it, NCXT. I know you think you're being nice. And we'll have you look in that one for now. Maybe I will still fit the fan controller. I'm undecided. There's no point in having extra stuff in there if I'm not going to use it for the cooler though. Just bloat at that point. Okay. So we just need to do front header stuff. So it's our USB slot. This should have a nice USB-C socket one. Where are you? You're there. Why are you not going? I know these sockets are meant to be stiff, but not that stiff. There we go. Did a USB trick on me because they are directional. Tried it the first way, didn't want to go in. Returned it, twisted it around, tried it the other way. Still didn't want to go in, and it was right the first way. Absolutely typical. Right. So that was for our Type C, which is USB 3.2, something like that. And our normal USB 3 Type A. Those case ones done. Then we're on to our front panel. No way, you left it as a block and it's. Oh, you spoil me. Because they always put them the same. Every manufacturer puts them the same way round. So, yeah, just make it a nice block for me. Oh, you're too kind. And then there should be a front panel audio. Yeah. And our front panel audio. It looks like that one. And I'm quite confident I'm correct, but it's not labeled, which is weird. ASUS usually label everything. So I'm going to play this one safe. Your gorilla hands would have mashed it by now. You just get a bigger case. You get an emptier case. um, I haven't got small hands though. They're big, but they're not fat. They're long chipolatas rather than 15. Yeah, long chipolatas rather than great big Cumberlands. Front panel auto header. Yep, I was right. we can get that to. It's funny, I'm getting used to that extra light now. Apart from as soon as I put go to move my hand in front of the way, it gets suddenly like instantly put into darkness. Right, and we've got no RGB stuff to plug in because that'll be all be done through software. So, kind of done on that front. It's gonna when it's completely done, it's gonna be a very sort of low cable, neat build, I think. I'm not going to show you the back. I refuse. Because for now, I am just ramming it in there. Bratwurst. When we get sweaty, it turns into a currywurst. Yeah, because I'm actually going to take the time to properly do the cable management once I've done the cooler, but just so you can see, and it's actually one of the reasons why I like this case when you do it with NZXTs, because it's got these like cable channels, sort of along here and around certain places, so I can get these cables. There's certain ones like these I can actually just do it for straight away. Go along, cable management there, tie them down to that point, and then they're out of the way. Same for this power one. Get that. No, NCC even give you nice bits of Velcro. Oh, aren't they? They're just the best. Where I've kind of put stuff in the way of that now, haven't I? Like I said, I'll redo it. But I can then sit in the channels like that. So I mean, I'm going to have to unplug it and run it through there, and then you can tighten it down, and then it sits in the cable channels like that. So, like I say, it'll something I'll do at the end once I've got all the bits in place. Because once I've got them in place, I know how I'm going to want to route it all, and then you'll have some nice, neat streams. So if you open up the back, you'll just get like tidied away panels. But like I said, I'm going to have to undo a decent enough amount of it that if I was to do it now, I would frankly be wasting my time having to redo it all over again. So I'm just not going to. I'm just going to shove it behind the kind of panel for now out of the way. At least the front will look neat for now. And then, yeah, and as I say, once I've got the cooler sorted, I'll have to do some update pictures and stuff like that. But it should all be done in time for Festival Sports, which is the main takeaway, isn't it? That's what we all want. So, put panel on and hide all of my sins. But what's good is this cage has a small rack, so you could fit two full-size normal hard drives, so your mass storage, and two SATA SSDs. And even within this, you can add two. Yep, two more NVMe drives. So you've got loads of expansion for storage. So you should have no problems on that front. That's tight. Oh, and it just slides out of the way. Oh, that's cool. See, there's some new things. There's some new updates. I like it when I see new things and they surprise me. And I've also got an Ethernet cable ready. So what I'll do is then install Windows. Once we install Windows, I'll have to get you to DM me some details, Juicy. Basically, your Windows log. We'll download a couple of programs, get some stuff installed, and do some live runs. So I'll be able to download like Steam and the Epic Store, but it'll be up to you to make some accounts. Future-proof is a dirty word. Expandable is the word you want. You can expand or upgrade it. Yeah, future-proof is a very dirty word. There we go, like. See, it's such a firm slot. Oh, that is a lovely size, actually. Yeah, there's room for more. It would have gone longer, but it's definitely not going to hit the cooler. But that stops right, like, in line with that. So that's pretty aesthetically pleasing, at least to me, anyway. I mean, if you can, not on a computer or on a nasty laptop or something, set up like a Steam account and an Epic account and stuff like that, and then I can still do the same things and download some stuff for you or whatever. But since I know you'll have a Microsoft account, which means I know I could download. Have you got? I'm pretty certain you said you got Game Pass. It means I could then jump on there, just download something like Forza 5, Minecraft, um, and the such like, and then we can use them as like a test bed for this thing. Right. Are these going to be long enough that I can hide away those other chemicals? Great if they were, but I don't think they are. Just not quite. Just not quite. But I think it would look neater still, it being like that then. So what I would probably do is have them like that, and if a cable tie them there like that, sort of out of the way. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Cable time, so like this. So it's a sort of sniper. So that's such a shame. If it was just like an inch or so longer, you could have had that nice and neat there. They still don't look too bad. I'm splitting hairs here. Right, but functionally, that's us all in. So, assuming the PC gods haven't suddenly turned against me, what's a shame? This power cable's not very long. I have one here. My one longer? Yes. Keep that one. Send that with you. Use mine for now. Have the GP and Forza and Minecraft. Yeah, the GP Game Pass. Right, yeah. Okay, so we'll download those two, and I should be able to download them well within enough time. I've got pretty quick internet now, actually. Um, okay, so we'll let it do first boot up like this, and yeah, we won't put the side panels on. That's always a curse. Okay, if I turn it back on at the wall first. On, power on, and power. All the fans going. No, okay, the RGB isn't coming on those fans. So obviously, they do need that bit of RGB controller. Never mind. It's not a biggie. Cool, we've gone into post. Excellent. Yes, is this for Juicy? It is indeed. So, okay. we've seen that turn on now. We're pretty happy. Um, Too much! Right, and I'm going to pull this out a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm working very messy here. I'll have to do. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is slam you into a USB socket. We're functionally going to restart. And either A, it'll auto assume that's the boot and go into the Windows 11 installation, or it won't, but it'll recognize the USB drive and I'll tell it to go to that. Let's see what it does. The fact it hasn't gone straight into BIOS does say to me it's probably going to go. It's trying to read the USB. Fun fact, this will be the first time I've installed Windows 11. Yep. Okay, it's gone straight to the USB. Cool. So, bet his work straight away. Yes. We already did a box test, Jess. I'm sorry yours hasn't gone as smoothly. We'll sort that. Get back to AWD, get the bits back, and we'll do like a little video chat or something like that, and we'll systematically go through each bit to work out what the issue is. We'll get through it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yes, we're doing English in the United Kingdom, and we're going to install now. You are about to see how it's funny. People get scared of the idea of like, oh, installing Windows stuff like that. I've got a CD key, it's on the way, but we don't need to do that right now. We just click, I don't have a product key, and then it's like, yeah, great. We'll do home because I feel like Pro will somewhat be wasted on Juicy. That is important to whatever CD key you do get. Those licenses are different. We're going to select custom install because I want to pick what one I want, which is the only drive we've got in anyway, so it's fine. So I say that drive, and there we go. We're installing Windows. And to create that USB, you literally go on the Windows website, pick whether it's Windows 10 or 11, have a pen stick that's 8 GB or bigger. Don't go too big because it doesn't like that either. I trade you a USB 2 one, like an old one, tends to work better. You just download a package, and you say you want to make a creation media for Windows 10, 11, whatever. Put a USB stick in, it will format and wipe that disk, and set it up, and it now becomes your boot media. And that's it. It is surprisingly simple to install out. What I'm going to do, especially I'm going to get some more ice in my drink and give it a bit of a top up, and we'll wait for that to finish. So now's a great time. There's not much more I could do right now until that's done. So if you want to go get a drink or stretch your legs, whatever, now's a good time to do it. Alright, and we're back. Oh, that's good timing. Okay, so once it's done that initial stall bit, it will ask some base questions for us going into our Windows um, setup and the such like. So as soon as I see it goes in those lines of questions, I will remove the USB. There's a sinister dark theme in there though. Like I said, kind of accidental. I wasn't aiming for that. I was kind of going bang for buck, but yeah, like I said, very almost Batman colours. Kind of happy with that. I'll go around and turn, once I've done all this, I will turn it around and get a more of a camera shot. It's not the same though because of that cooler. That's what I might do while stuff's installing actually. I'll get that proof through. I'm going to do it now, in fact. I am going to do that now. How to get the bracket? Submit a ticket. You're right, Alice. Go to the other kids' room. Oh. Yeah, so this is new for me actually. You can't really see that, can you? I don't think that's helping much now. No, you can't. It's all very bright to be fair, even on here. So I'm just picking that we're in the United Kingdom. So I'm just going through a small bits of questionnaire now. So keyboard layout or input method. Yeah, United Kingdom. Do you want to add a second? Juicy, if you're in the chat, I guess I could be going to do this now. Do you want a German layout as a secondary kind of function? I'll give him a few seconds to answer. Hope he's watching. How long will go for a minute? Email. That. Tracking X. Your name. And I need to attach proof of purchase. So if I go into my emails, what do you do? Right, come on. Come on, Juicy, you could do this. Yes, please. There we go. Right, cool. Add layout. Uh, stay right there, because, oh my word, there's loads of different German ones. German, Austria, German, Germany, German, Liechtenstein, German, Luxembourg. I'm going to go German, Germany. Is that right? Cool. For that invoice, I should just attach that invoice, hopefully. Final. That one. Submit. Oh, no. Right. Slide with cooler. Oh, shit, maybe I should say LGA 700. Go through. Yes, Germany, Germany. Cool. Which keyboard layout or input method would you like to use? German, German IBM, German. Oh God. I'm making a call for you. You can change it later. Right. Okay, that's the request in the bracket already gone in. Let's hope that comes in time for Festival of Sports. Be a nuisance if it doesn't. It sounds like it should, though. It sounds like it's pretty speedy. Okay. Free to come on. Internet. Get on with it. Oh, look. Yeah, connected. Yay. I mean, I've just made the installation today, the installation drive, so it shouldn't be needing for any updates. If you're doing this yourself, it's very self-explanatory. There's not actually any level of complexity to this whatsoever. It's almost more akin to once you got to this point, it's almost like you got a new computer and it's like, hi, you've just bought your new Windows computer. So it's actually that easy to install Windows. Just a moment. Looks like I have to sign into NZXT for this. Brilliant. Just give me the bracket. Name your device. Oh, okay. Do you want to give it a funny name, Juicy? Or just Juicy's PC? Some other name? Big Wang computer. You've DM'd me via Discord. I know you for your login details and stuff. Uh, ah, I'll turn the screen. Simple answer. Um, yeah. You know, I'm just going to call it. I'm just going to call it for now. Juicy PC. Hello. Hello. Cool. NTXT have received my give me a new caller. I think it's trying to. So Juicy PC. Oh, you can say can't contain a space. You know that. You always change it later if you don't like it. Juicy's music. Ah, it's too slow. You can change it later. It's you can just go to the settings and change it, so it's fine. Yes, that's for the password bits. I'll just turn the screen. Don't worry. I think those fans are running at close to max tilt and pretty quiet. They're moving a lot of air. I mean, it'd actually be quieter as well because there'd normally be a glass panel here and yet it's open. So not bad. Right, green turn time. There we go. You can't see these details, you hackers and perverts. So thinking for 11, you have to have um no, fair cop. That worked. Just oh, you can't see anything. I just need some light. No, no, no. I understand. Very, very reasonable. Either I typed that wrong. Or I'm going to assume that's probably the case. So try that again. Half typing it blind. I'm not as good a touch typist as I hope I would be. It could be this keyboard. It's a very abused and tired keyboard, but what I can do that. Definitely can't see it from there. Let's have a look. It doesn't like that password. Just check I've got all the other details right. Yes. Yeah, it doesn't seem to like that password. It says I can email code to obviously one of your other emails because it's not the same email. It's annoying because Windows 10 you could go along and say, nah, what about this later? And then I could have just dealt with this after getting in and booting in. Windows 11, it's like you must have a Microsoft account. I've heard there are ways around it, but it's mm, less than ideal. All right. Um, Short intermission. Send it what email code to that email, correct? Or do that email to log in to Windows. Whatever you want. What's your Xbox account attached to? Uh, right, so we use that to log into the Windows. That makes sense. But to send code, we will send a verification code to that. To verify that this is your email address, enter it below. It doesn't give me the whole email there, so it's a good thing you typed it up there. You should be getting a code. Uh-huh. I'm very. Is that definitely the code? Oh, right. Okay. It's not like in. Not like in any of these codes. Mm. Oh, hang on. Hang on. I'm confused. Right. Uh, right, I think it might have just sent a new code to your. The new password is that. Enter password. Okay. That's it. Keyboard. Yeah. Make sure that's right. Way. Okay. Okay. Right. Need a pen. Tell you what. You're saying all of this, and I gotta be secure. You'd better trust. You'd better trust me. Monsieur Juicy, please check Discord. To be fair, once it's all set up, you can go along and then change everything afterwards anyway, which, in all fairness, is probably the intelligent and smart thing to do. Um, no, I could also say I literally have no interest in your stuff. I'm going to tell Windows to sod off and stop tracking you. It's all stuff you could turn back on afterwards if you really want to, but I'm guessing you don't want that. Let us customize your experience. No, go away. Right, okay. It should be back to your boring stuff now. Back up your files with OneDrive. No, just take this PC. You can set OneDrive later if you care about that stuff. She's security heavy, as everyone should be. We all should be. This is absolutely the right thing to do. Right. It's now going to do some getting things ready for you, and then we're on to the next step of getting um, installing drivers and all that sort of stuff. Though this is going to be just I need to kind of start charging my phone actually. It's very low on power. Um, so sorry to see, going to rely on uh, that chat for now. What I'll do is probably straight away go into Game Pass so I can get the games downloading. While they're downloading, I'll then go get um, drivers. I think for today, just for the sake of time and a level of brevity and the fact that and stuff, we'll get a couple of games going, at least one, maybe two. So either Minecraft or Forza. I'll let you decide which you think you would prefer. Um, do the drivers, basically go along, look, it's working and it's running, and then call it a day there, and hopefully get the bracket before next week. Fingers crossed on that one. Oh God. Uh, download Armory Crate and Land Driver. Um, I'm actually going to say yes to you for Armory Crate because it's a really good way of it's some ways technically a little bit of bloatware, but it allows you to do lots of things which saves you going into the BIOS to do. Um, so it's not, in your case, it's probably not bad. Um, and it'll let you control the RGB lighting on your RAM stick should you care. Okay, oh god, everything's in the middle, isn't it? Extra store. Right, just in case I have to recut password again, I'm going to do that for now. Can't see it. So we need the Xbox app. That's already pre-installed. Look at that. So do that. Downloading video drivers. Stop there. Get something run. Already member sign in. Aha. There. That's convenient. Just says welcome back. So I should be able to go along and. All right. Fours would be best. I do have. Right, I'll do Forza for now, just so you can see it running and go, ooh, and then everything else I could download so it's all there ready because I silly fast internet. Right, Horizon. So Horizon 5, I'm guessing. Oh, I forgot. Left that in. Oopsie. Right, we'll start that. All right. 107 gig. Uh, it won't take that. Cool. Okay. So, what else are we going to do? For your things like browsers and stuff like that. Uh, Go away. No, you do what I want to do. Right. Right. Okay. So video drivers. Because I would like to do GeForce Experience with you. You have to make an account for GeForce Experience, but in your case, it's ideal because it does like auto updates and stuff like that for you, so it's quite useful. But for now, what I'll do is I'll just do a base driver just to get it all working, and then slow time, I could go along and set that up with you for the sake of brevity. RTX series, product. Hey, no, no, no. Where? Um, where? Oh my God. Okay, someone needs to be sacked at Nvidia for these drop down. Okay, shoot. How's that going? A little bit slower than I would care for. It is also downloading and installing other bits as well at the same time. I am already. Let's go look at Task Manager. Actually, let's see. Performance, CPU. You're happily set up. Yeah. I'm pretty certain you're meant to boost higher than that. Maybe there's some things in the BIOS I need to click on it. I could look at that later. Oh, I could look at that later. No, that's fine anyway. It recognizes everything. And that's all the things I would care for it to do. You're 5%. You should be doing it faster. Where did that down? Download you. Yes. Yep. Shoe. Armory crate. Yes, I sold my soul to you. No, go away. Sort off. Okay. So the thing you're seeing here is Armory Crate. So that is an ASUS piece of software, which is the maker of your motherboard. The reason that's useful is when you come to things like BIOS updates and stuff like that, ASUS are actually very good. They usually have a number of ways of updating the BIOS rather than the scary way. So I think you could do it through Armory Crate. If not, you can actually go into the BIOS and basically just go, "Can you look on the internet for me, please?" So I don't have to work it out myself. But I'm pretty certain you could do it from within here. Um, but then you can also, where like at the moment, I've got the fans. Let's see. So I can already control where the fans all plugged into the motherboard. So if you can hear that now, because I told them to go to max, or I could say be quiet. Normally, you don't have to go to BIOS for that. In here, you could do it from in here. So that's always nice. Let's see. The only bit of RGB we've got should be the Corsair sticks. You're gonna tell me it's gonna need IQ for those RAM sticks. Of course you are. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Aura sync. Let's see. Tough. Addressable LED strips. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Well, that's useful for little bits like that anyway for now. But you can go away. Driver and GeForce experience. What I'll do is I will do that so it installs it, but I won't log into GeForce experience. It doesn't matter, it will just sit there asking you ready to install it, but it'll still install the driver, so that's fine. You're not going as fast as I would care for. Go back into. Where's my armory crate? I should be able to get this to look for drivers for the motherboard. Oh, we don't need an account. Tools. Drivers. Here we go. See, stuff like this. Look at that. Boom! Look at all these, like, oh, look, I've got lots of new drivers for the motherboard. Please have me. Oh, that's where it's useful. You could either, this saves you having to run around websites looking through all of it and stuff like that. So I don't like anything if I don't need to have it in the background. But admittedly, if you don't want to go chasing around the websites and configuring, make sure you got the right code and motherboard and stuff like that, this does make life a lot easier. Okay, so we've got NVIDIA drivers installing. We got motherboard updates and other drivers installing. That should hopefully speed up the internet download into that, which would be good. We should test the Wi-Fi as well. Oh no, got a nice little. That's a very nice, neat looking antenna actually. While you're waiting for them to do stuff, let's get that out of look. You have an NVIDIA account info if you want. In which case, we could do that all at the same time, if that saves. Yeah, if you've already got it, then yeah, absolutely, let's do it. It's only because I was kind of half expecting you not to have it, but if you have it, then absolutely, we'll get it signed in and do it. And it's by and large, you could, yeah, it's just more rather than having to hunt online, going and again go to the NVIDIA website. Can I have please have the latest driver? You could kind of go just to an app and go, but do I have the latest driver? Um, and then it will just say yes or no, or you can then click a toggle, and it'll auto download, and then every so often just ping you in Windows going, "There's a new driver. Click to update it," and that's it. So it does take a lot of the legwork out of it. Create a desktop shortcut for NVIDIA GeForce Experience. For now, I'm actually going to say yes. Restart later because I want Armory Crate to finish at least, and then we'll do the restart. Um, it kind of looks like that goes in like that. I am confused. This is not as intuitive as I would have liked. What is this, Asus? Oh, is that it? Is that literally it? Okay. Oh no, okay, okay. No, I'm cool with that. That's fine. Yeah. So there's your antenna. Quite a neat little thing. Yeah. So you got Wi-Fi built into the motherboard. So just useful because sometimes I don't know, you go away somewhere or you're stuck in a mess somewhere and you haven't got Wi-Fi. Although so there's nowhere to plug it in by LAN, so you have to use Wi-Fi. You've got it. It also has Bluetooth, so it's Bluetooth built into the motherboard as well. So you use Bluetooth devices or headphones or something like that when you're cooking with coal. That starts at like 55%. I'm Let me pause you for a second. Oh, I don't know. I think that's just being a diva. We'll give that a little bit more time. We've got to download this anyway. Yeah, I think. I mean, I've had other ones. Well, I've got one like here. I don't know if the cable will be long enough to reach. That's like one of mine. It's fine, but it's not certainly not shiny looking, is it? Okay. Well, I'll break it apart and put it away for now. I didn't do that right, did I? No, I did not. Well, there's not huge. Say, apart from waiting for the driver down, game to come down, just to kind of go. Oh, look, it doth work. Because I could do benchmarks, but I don't think you care for that. You want to see the real results, don't you? You want to see it play a game. Um, uh, dee, 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 dee. Has it progressed any further? No. Why do I get the feeling that's done a weirdism? Uh, Maybe something like that. See if it load. How are you doing? You are not. Download at speed. I think you should download that. I'm going to test something. Pause that. Bring that up. Speed test. Go away. No cookies. Go blow a go. Are you getting the full ferocity of the speed you should be getting? Close enough too, since I'm using the Cat 6A. Fine, okay. So that's not been not bottlenecked. Maybe it was Windows servers. Um, Hang on. Oh, GeForce Experience. Hang on. Did you reply to that? So good. Have seriously issues with connectivity. Do not fret. Right. Sorry about monitor turning. Going to need a little bag for the bits. Yeah, I will sort out a neat package for that for all the stuff you're going to be coming with. So, because functionally, I'll yeah, assuming at some point you hear this, um, all the basically you're going to be getting all the boxes and stuff like that, and then functionally it's up to you whether you keep or chuck them, or if you're just like, can you just condense it down as much as possible, and with the certain bits you feel like I should keep, and then bag and tag the rest, we could do that as well. But okay, good. Some boxes are useful to keep, like the case box, for example, because if you're going to transport it, you could do that. And for the same reason, the GPU box is good to keep because when you transport it, ideally you want to take the GPU out. It's very easy to take in and out. It's the easiest component to fit and remove. But you want to take it out because when you transport it, it will sort of wobble and wiggle in the slots because there's a great big lump of metal sort of there. So when you take it out, it's nice to have that in its box to sort of look after it when it transports, whereas everything else is hard mounted. It doesn't matter. Um, so, uh, uh, so this is me multitasking now. Someone else is asking me questions about something. No, I don't know. I'll have to wait. Okay, then. Let's see. Okay. Uh, and yes. Remove the GPU is good. Yeah, no, it really is. And I got to admit, so for a 3080, that is on the smaller side of GPUs, but it's still not a small GPU. How to put it? So when you transfer it there, there's a good chance it will be fine, but why roll that dice? They honestly take about 30 seconds to remove or fit. Let's see how the other downloads are going. Armory crates moved along, so that's good. And Forza Horizon 5 is halfway there. Not doing bad. Not doing bad. Admittedly, this is anyone else that's watching. Um, this is in somewhat a slow part of what we're doing now because we are just functionally just downloading something just to get it to um, run and test and all right. So let's see. As you know, decency. As soon as Armory Crate is done. Ah, there we go. Right. Armory Crate's done. Cool. So I might actually do the restart now. I think. Oh my. Why is it in the middle? I keep wondering whether I should get my computer and change it to Windows 11, but I keep having to. I don't know. I keep having an iron about it. I don't know. I'm sure it's fine. I'm just so used to Windows 10, I guess. I think by a lot of it's just aesthetics rather than anything too important, but still. See the screen, cool. Yes. Pen is cool. Okay. I'm gonna pin you to taskbar because I think you're going to want that. Don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit sort of old and grumpy about this. And this is attached to a horrible monitor, by the way. So it's just an old TV. It's what I use for testing. So it's not going to be the best rendition, but it should be fine for our purposes. Uh, that's what I'm looking for. There we are. NVIDIA RTX 3080. Yeah, there's nothing else too much I need to do right now. Well, there you go. That says it all. This is a native 720p display. Oh God. Okay. Like I said, I normally only use it for boot testing, going to the BIOS and stuff like that. So it's not normally important to be uh, graphically superior. Um, there we go. It gets some nice download speeds now, though. So obviously that Armory crate actually did do its job. Um, Christ, imagine getting a 3080 to run it at 720p. The right multitasking. No, let's just keep doing stuff. So the other thing we're going to want, well, two things. Just for that RAM, which is really annoying, I think we're going to need IQ, which is pain. That's Kesara Sarah. Not, yeah, I don't need to sign up to something for that. Right, IQs for the RAM sticks, and then what we need. Once you've got all of them, there's normally a way to set them all to work together. So that's fine. Because I'm pretty certain once I get IQ talking to Asus could just run it. But I think you have to tell them to do that in the first place. So we could do that at least. Um, okay. Let's check this one. So okay, while that's doing that, so and then the other one we need is NZXT cam. Might as well get that as well straight away. Get you download cam because we'll be using that for fan setup for the cooler. Okay, that's installing. Got cam to set up as well. Not much more I could do with cam right now, but it's installed. So have that installed. Close it. Close all that now. Q has finished. Right. So okay, so it looks like we can use IQ to do the motherboard and um, backplate. Oh, hello. Yeah, the motherboard has a little bit of RGB lighting. This I did not know. It's not much, but it's there. Okay. All right. And then we've got our. Oh, you could do. So, can't see very well there. It's not very. Uh, so, you can see our motherboard and you can see our RAM. So, with an IQ, we could then go along and let's say, right, what do I want the RAM sticks to do? Lighting effects. That's color pulse. Is that any good? Does that look good? Oh, this monitor's. Oh, this display's horrible as a monitor. Let's do strobing. That's horrendous. Let's not do that. Spiral rain. Oh, so that's now doing like a rain effect. Dropping down. But you could. There's loads of funny ways to muck about with that. You can do that to your heart's content. It's relatively intuitive. So the main one of being there is it's installed. So we leave it on a bit of a unicorn vomit for now. Oh, GeForce says naturally your GPU, CPU, and monitor display and applies customized games this experience. Um, hmm. I want to say yes to this, but at the moment it's tagged to a 720p monitor, which would be pretty bad. So I'm going to untick it and then tell you to tick it at a later date once you've got it set up to your telly. Um, but that is that done. You are on the latest driver, but what I will tell it to do, not experimental features. Um, there. It'll automatically download drivers now. That's the main one. So then you should just get a little bong um, pop up saying like a new driver's ready for you, and then it's just click it and tell it to do the driver, rather than kind of going. Been a while since I've done my video card driver. So by and large, we are nearly 70% of the way off getting Forza. I always forget how big that game is actually. I know it's not COD, but still. And then we're ready to test, run it as a game, and go, hooray, it works. And then it's just pray to NZXT and the delivery gods we get the bracket in time before the Festival of Sports. If it doesn't, that's okay. There, uh, thankfully, Intel provides a box cooler, and it just means we'll have to get it sorted and fitted at a later date. Many ways to skin that cat. We could work that out in due time. Um, I'm pretty certain there's multiple ways we can sort that out. We'll manage it. We could do it. Um, so that will be fine. But as of right now, you've got the box cooler on it, so it will work. 70%. Oh. Really annoying because I know it's not my internet or the machine. It is. It is slowing down every so often from the internet side, so that's probably the Microsoft server. Yeah, because there we go. Look like that. There we go. Look at that. It's 900 megabytes a second right now. Keep that. Just keep doing that. Then it goes back down to like 25. Yeah, because right now there's not a huge amount more worth installing. I tell you what, I could probably get some of the base things installed for you. Oh, I say installed, at least downloaded. So no, wrong. Probably going to want Steam. Go away. Oh, hang on. No, this is not the Steam site. Go away. Here we go. Go away. Don't want your cookies. Because I've asked. Right. Steam. No point in running it unless you've set up a Steam account already. We could do Epic Store. This is why I use Google Chrome and not Edge. There we go. Let's see. Do you play any of the CODs, Warzone, Blizzard games? Yeah, the fact that that could do that speed as well at the same time. That is Windows servers. Right. Right, have a launch for each of his own games, so there's not a lot of point in me doing that. I think you can manage that. Okay, installed. 82%. Come on. We're pretty close now. We're pretty close. Um, Bit of the shame with the cooler and the cool amount, because that would have really frustrating, because the website did make it look like it was going to have it. So kind of sad about that. But it's a bit of a care Sarah moment. It doesn't overly matter. It'll be done at a later stage, but otherwise everything's running, everything's working. Throw it in the game. Let's see some results and then get it reviewed through. Yes, you're a bottom play COD. Sorry, right, you want the Activision. So you're on BattleNet then. Oh. Hmm. I call the play it's doing its job. Well, obviously, I'm just downloading and installing loads of stuff. Your SSD's getting hit like a truck. And that cover plate on the top is actually a heat spreader. So NVMe SSDs actually do get hot. So where it's got a nice cover over the top, it's not just a cover to make it disappear and hide away. It actually does draw heat away from the NVMe drive. So right, I won't log you in. Um, Again, we could do stuff like actually, it's a lot of stuff. If you're thinking like, oh, there's certain games you want installed, while I've genuinely got very good internet here. So if you're like, oh, please log into my account and install these various kind of games, and even potentially preset them up for you, I can absolutely do that. We won't do that here during this stream, but I can absolutely do that at a stage before turning up. Because if your internet's not great where you are, then especially something like COD or something like that, that's going to be painful to download. So I could at least do that for you here. 86%. Right. Literally just waiting for that. This is the last step. I just want to get it in front of you while you're looking. I know you can't see there, and it's not great. The best I can tell you to do, the best I'll have to sort of somewhat, to some extent, describe it to you, I guess. The camera angle help? Not really. Okay. I'm going to quickly charge my glass. And I think by that time it's speeding up now, so by that time it's done, and we'll get into the game and run the benchmark, and yeah. All right. Back in a second. Okay. .93%. Come on. A lot of Windows is saying, should play great on this PC. Yeah, it will. 96, 7. Got to finalize. Here we go. Play. Okay. Gonna want sync data. This is the magical thing. If you've been playing it on Xbox or another PC, often it's quite useful because if I'm playing it up here on my main rig, um, that's great. Downstairs, it's still on my account, and that's quite often if my son is playing it downstairs, we'll play it together, and we'll do that downstairs. He's got my old Xbox One, but he has his own like Microsoft account for that. Um, Single data, which should be done soon. 0%. Mm. They'll do it. 4%. Where are you dragging this data from? Honestly, it's oh, honestly, I don't know if Windows is just or Microsoft is just. uh, yeah, so it's funny. I've got a bit. So my youngest has his own, and even my daughter has, though she's not so fussed on Forza, but he loves it. Um, and so he likes having his own. So sometimes if he just wants to be in his room and then play, he'll play on his own, and he'll try and do bits, get some money, and he's got some cars and stuff like that. He does all right in it. Um, but what we will do is if we're downstairs playing together, he will functionally work as like my fast travel, though fast is the relative word here. So he basically have his own set of cars on my account, which he will drive to the event, get to the event, and then I do the race. And once I've done the race in my cars, he'll then go back into one of his cars and then drive to the next event or whatever he wants to do. Um, so yeah, and then every so often though, I just want to sit there, put some headphones on, and just absolutely go full like I'm trying as hard as I can, get sweaty, and that's great. And then sometimes I want to sit there and feel my son. um, right, I think with sync data, I can assume that Microsoft servers are being really at the moment. And it's also nice because yes, every so often he will then um, say like, oh, should we go drive together? So we're like, yeah, I'll jump on a computer. He'll then jump on his Xbox and he'll play. Um, even and it's funny, he's only 6, but he's very conscious of the difference between playing Forza on an Xbox One and playing it on one of the PCs. He's now got it even in Minecraft as well now because he's actually that's his main game. He's really into Minecraft. Um, and I'll tell you what, like I'm down with the kids, but nothing makes me feel like such a boomer as watching my son on Minecraft and how much more he knows about than I do. He's desperate for a wheel. He is absolutely desperate to get a wheel, and I'm kind of refusing it because I'm like, I will never drag him off the damn thing. So, and I've got to find somewhere to give it a home. Um, but yeah, he, um, yeah. So now his wording is like, when it comes to Minecraft, yeah. So he's got it on his Switch. He'll play it on his Xbox and stuff like that. And then, but since I did my upgrade, where I got a 3080 Ti, and I was like, oh, I got it because I really wanted to try ray tracing. I was umming and ahhing between that and going with an AMD card, but I was like, no, I haven't had an LTX card yet. I should probably go along just for the sake of actually explaining to other people as well. I've not mucked about with ray tracing. I've not mucked about with DLSS. I should do that so I can actually give better advice on those matters as well. Otherwise, I'm talking out of ignorance or what other people have said. I'm doing it a bit third party. Um, so I've got that now, and it's like Minecraft's not my game. It really isn't, and that's fine. I just don't care for sandboxes. I don't care for sandbox games. So even Forza, I struggle with that. It's like, do I want to drive around in the wilderness? It's like, no, I don't care. Just get me to the race. Then we do the race and go, yeah, great, can I have the next race, please? Um, Whereas he's the opposite. He loves the sandbox. Um, Love and Redstone, but yeah, no. So he likes where he'll think of something he wants to create or replicate. He'll try and replicate something real. And because Minecraft is limited, if you're just doing base, we haven't got loads of mods or anything like that. But whatever the base thing is, um, about time for it. He will try and work out, well, how do I make this? How do I make this with what I've been given? So he'll go along and he'll build a house, and he's like, "House needs a toilet," and he will sit there for ages working out how best to um, create a toilet. Or well, he'll go along and he'll make a sofa. I'm trying to do it so it's like some level of the screen. Um, but he wants it that when you go up to it, you don't just stand on top of it, you sit down into it. And he'll work out weird ways of solving those kind of problems. Right. So we're going to settings. What we're going to do now. Uh, Auto detect system has chosen the following preset for your system. Extreme. Ah, continue with preset. Okay, but I'm going to look at some bits anyway because it's doing resolution at that. It's stuck at. It's stuck to what the display is. Fine, but which is fine, but I can functionally tell everything to. Um, I've basically dialed everything to 11. Um, is functionally what I've done. So what I'm looking for now is the benchmark. Now, just the way the portal works on PC, as soon as you change settings and things like that, it almost like has to resort itself out, and it's never quick. Other games are so quick. You could just like some. I tell you what, there's certain ones that it's like Far Cry 6. You go along, you have that, um, and you change settings, and where it's like a floating setting menu and there's stuff in the background, you'll watch it physically change live as you're changing it, and you're like, great. This it would be like, oh no no no, now we have to draw the curtains, and then we change settings, and then we'll let you enjoy it again. Which is a bit of a nose, but there are worse fates. Okay, yeah. If like I said, well, Far Cry 6, I got two. This is the thing with like PC. I got it 2 weeks after release for like 18 quid, and there's no jankiness to that. That was from Epic Store, just because they were like, oh, because it was near Christmas, and they were like, we're running a sale, and also if you buy something, we'll give you a £10 voucher towards it. Yeah. So, and again. being able to run RTX and stuff like that within it's pretty okay. So here we go. Everything dialed to 11. That's quite loud. Not even matters. So this is running at 1080p. I have got it to do that. So it knows it's locked at 60, and the GPU is running at 70%. Every so often dropping to the high 60s. The GPU is barely flexing. There's no resolution scaling going on here either or anything like that. It's I gotta admit, I'm looking at this on a 720p like image, and it's clean. It's very clean. It's kind of surprising because normally if you go off native, it comes with levels of wonkiness. So they've somehow corrected for that. That GPU's barely trying. It's not even throwing that much heat out. It's barely throwing any heat out, in fact. I can feel air moving, but it's cold. Right. Like I said, I turned everything to right that. I did make that still a GPU bottleneck scenario. So the CPU was good on average for up to 208 FPS. Um, I just thought I just unlocked the FPS, didn't I? Oh, I'm an idiot. Hang on. Oh, I'm so dumb. That's what I get for. You can lock it to 20. Can I not go unlimited frame rate? Is it? Hmm. Uh, no, that's one thing that was amazing by that. I don't think I've ever encountered this. Zero stutter count. There's almost always, even if it's like one or two, which you wouldn't even notice particularly, but it's quite normal for it to encounter a stutter. For it to basically go, nope, no stutter, is genuinely uh, quite impressive. Yeah, and it's looking like, yeah, GPU's flying. So I am happy with that. That is definitely working. Right. Um, I don't think there's much else for me to do, say, or achieve here tonight. Um, very frustrating about the caller scenario. I've got the bracket in order, um, and I got to get all the rest of that set up, and then I could do the cable management in the back. If I'm honest, actually, in some ways, a good save there is quite frankly that is really boring. Cable management is it's time consuming and it's boring, so it's not very interesting to watch. But fundamentally, the main key hardware we've got in, it's plugged in and it's working. We've downloaded the game. I've watched it run. It's run flawlessly. Um, I know even though if it's low resolution, stutter count is still just a thing. So I don't think I've ever done a game where it's gone I didn't stutter. So really happy with that. Um, it it doesn't come across very well on the camera. It's not like I've got a professional lighting setup in here or anything. That's an Xbox One camera. But the color scheme genuinely looks. I think almost the word is intimidating. Um, it's just all like Batman colors. It's blacks and dark grays and gunmetals. So and it all goes together really nicely. So and especially when it's done, you can see the sort of lightly colored rings here. There are what will light up. So when you've got the whole system going, you're going to have where you got the LEDs from those two rings there coming out the front, maybe a little bit from the grills and inside, but probably not a lot. You got your two sticks of RAM. You got the light on the logo for the RTX card, and you got a little bit shadowing on the back side around the motherboard. So it's not unicorn vomit. There is a level of a subtlety which I think if you get the right lighting to it, either pick a color or however you do it to mate up with your preference. I'm actually quite happy of how um, aesthetically it's come out as well. It's really clean. I mean, it's going to be quite hard to show off in here. I'm going to try my best. And this is no glass panel, and I'm not going to do it because I don't want to take the peel off. That should be for Juicy to do because everyone loves a big peel, don't they? But granted, it'll have a cooler there with a couple of hoses that will. Oh, that's a fan. Will run down and then meet here with your radiator up here. So your radiator will slot in there, and then you'll see two hoses sort of loop and probably come up to the bottom here. And that's all about that's going to change, and you'll get something with an NZXT like logo on the cooler block. But yeah, that's it. So um, uh, when it gets to next week, Juicy, I know you enjoy it. I genuinely think you'll be very happy with it. For everyone else to watch, thank you for watching. Thank you for chiming in. Um, if I get opportunity to do more of these builds for people, if I do my other own projects and stuff like that, I'll try and do more things kind of like this. So if you've got any thoughts about how it could be better, it could look better, sound better, be better, or stuff. I've had thoughts maybe I should probably get like a top-down camera so you can see what I'm doing like this, and then maybe sort of like a split in a corner looking down as I'm doing it for another different angle. Maybe that would help. Um, but yeah. Um, Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.